Okay, as promised, here is video 2. And this is where I'm going to show how you, or probably your teachers, should go about going through and turning domains back on. So just kind of compare and contrast real quick. Use your imagination when a teacher signs in for the first time, as opposed to an administrator signing in. The teacher view actually shows them, there's like a little bar up here that says, hey, this many domains are shut off. They can click on that to go through and fix that issue, which I'll be making similar videos for teachers themselves as well. But from the admin side, the way to get there is through that personalized instruction summary. So we'll go to reading again. Once you are in the content area you want to be in, again, if you have multiple schools, choose your school. Find the grade level you want to look at. So we'll say grade 4 here since they have a couple of domains shut down for students. Looks like Mr. Lee here is the one with these students with shutdown domains. You can tell from that column here. So good job, Mr. or Miss Daniels, for having no kids in danger of either having domains shut off or having kids with domains shut off. So congratulations there. In this case, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Mr. Lee's class. You see here we have Mario, who is in danger of having domains shut down. So that's where a teacher could just go through, take a look at where Mario might be struggling, and hopefully, get that issue corrected before we get to the point of having the domain shut down. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at Anna here, who actually does have a domain shut down. So all this plus sign is going to do is say, hey, that's what that sign means, just in case you forgot what that red X meant. But if you actually click on the student, that's where you can figure out what is going on with Miss Anna. So she actually has 2 domains shut down. Vocabulary is turned off, as well as comprehension. So obviously we don't want our students not receiving instruction in comprehension or vocabulary, so we want to get that fixed as soon as possible. If a teacher were to scroll down here, this is where they could get a good look at what was going on. So she was being tested in comprehension. She didn't pass a few times. It switched over to vocabulary, which is interesting. That's not generally the case, but maybe it's because it's a demo account and they just kind of made stuff up. But usually you'll see comprehension, so not pass, same lesson twice. Give her a new lesson, word meaning, and then she didn't pass that. They give her that new lesson again, word meaning. And once she fails that second lesson for the second time, that's when that domain gets shut down. Now, if you hit the plus sign, not only does it give you again what that stop sign means, but you could also turn the domain on from here, which we do not recommend just turning the domain on with no further remediation, because the child might just continue spinning their wheels there if they haven't, been taught anything. So this is where we'd recommend going to explore resources. And this is where you can see all the resources have been identified for the student based on the domain he or she, in this case she, is currently struggling in. You can pull any of these. These are your tools for instruction to use with that student, either individually if possible or within a small group if it's applicable to the entire small group. But those very turnkey lessons, known as, again, the tools for instruction, you go through and you have your full lesson plan here. They make you a little Venn diagram worksheet. And you go through, hopefully address whatever the issue might be with that student. And then once you do that, you can go through and say, okay, well, goes again, Anna got her instruction and comprehension. We figured out what was going on. You can even drill down further if you want to click on the title of the lesson and take a look at the instruction and the quiz. You can also see the standards that are addressed if you want to hit those standards specifically. So all kinds of various ways to go through and figure out exactly why the student might be struggling with that lesson or domain. And again, once that's been addressed, turn that domain back on. You'll see a little green banner pop up saying it's been turned back on, and now that student has access to comprehension. And for this individual kid who has 2 domains shut down, same thing with vocabulary. So plus sign, you can explore additional resources to use with that student in whatever capacity you might be able to reach that student. So same tools for instruction lessons, this time though they're on vocabulary. So again, very turnkey, your step-by-step instructions, your various check for understandings, and if there were any additional resources, there'd be there as well. There we go. And then you could also take a look at the lesson itself and see what the problems might be. If you click on the instruction, it'll show you the instruction side, or you can see the quiz that they might be failing, and you could also see the various standards that that lesson should be hitting. Same as last time. You could explore those resources, then turn that domain back on. Domains turned back on. Fantastic. You could also see, so if the student, somehow like their diagnostic test did not necessarily reflect what their current grade level is. So a lot of times it might be a student test at a lower grade level than they really are. But if this case, somehow Anna just guessed correctly and got way higher on vocab than she should be, or vice versa, you could click view on each one of these domains. From here, you could also turn that domain on if it was off. So if it looked like that, you just turn it on from here as well. And you should be able to go through and say, okay, well, she tested at whatever grade level she tested at, but you don't think that's really where she's at, upon further review, maybe she's more late 2 or whatever. You could click and adjust where she is to change what personalized instruction she gets. Or if it was vice versa, so she just flew through some things on her diagnostic test and you don't really think that's where she's at, you could go in and raise her grade level. That should be where she will start at next time she signs into iReady. You do want to make sure you go over and hit that little arrow button and save. And now whatever changes you made are saved. So that is that one, turning on domains, as well as a little bonus material on adjusting grade level if needed. Same as last time. If you have any questions about either one of those two things, please let me know, and I'm happy to help.